Welcome back, everybody, and happy Saturday. And once again, thank you for joining us for another episode of Ladies of the Empire. Joined here today with your girl Bex, and we have Crystal Peachy B. Miss Dina Harvey is in the works of making her way into the show, and unfortunately, we will not see Niners Jess or Miss Gina Reppin Da Bay today, but they'll be joining us another next week, if not a week after that for sure. But how are you ladies today?
do we dare tell them what we?
I know, right? Just
We're
hot.
sweating.
It's very hot here. So just sweating. That's all.
We're just sweating.
We're just sweating, and that's it.
It's definitely been a very hot day here too. We went to Lockford. My mom's birthday is coming up, and we went to Lockford to go get some sausages for the barbecue. And you have air conditioner in your car, but you got to get out of the car at some point.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh, I'm not ready for this. Can I just stay in the car with the AC on?
And it's so different too, because you're in there with it's really nice and cool, and it gets all fired up, and then you have to get out, and you feel like that you're at the edge of hell compared to this or whatever, because it's so, it's contrasting. It's so different.
Absolutely. And thank you, everybody. I'm just going to shout out the people we have in the chat so far. We have Mr. Bryant Colt, my #1 supporter. We have David Corona, Ty Austin. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for stopping by. We do appreciate it. Don't have to worry about you gentlemen liking or subscribing because we know you are already there, and we appreciate that 100%. And if we have any more other guests, then we'll definitely be intrigued and enjoy that as well. But while we are all here, did we see the news about Roger Craig? He unfortunately has fallen short.
I just want to smack everyone for real. Like, what? I was like, man, why? Just why?
It's very disappointing, especially with going back and then being able to, because at the time that he was playing, I was obviously just a little young to understand or remember, but going back and then researching and educating myself with his stats and understanding how great of a running back he was, and being the first running back to get 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing, changing the full dynamics of what it is to actually being a running back in the first place. It's upsetting to know that this gentleman hasn't made it in. And there was a time where, yes, it was that game where the Niners were playing against the Giants. And there was a situation where a fumble was involved, but that shouldn't be the one reason or only reason or even any reason to stop somebody from making it into the Hall of Fame, do you think? Is something like that so drastic that can actually prevent you from making it?
His body of work speaks for itself. And yes, he's the first double 1,000 rusher and receiver, but he's also the first person to score 3 touchdowns in a Super Bowl. That he did that against Miami Dolphins. So he was a trendsetter, and his style of play is exactly what has led to people like LaDainian Tomlinson being in the league and Marshall Faulk, those kind of players. They're modeled after Roger Craig. If there wasn't Roger, these guys, they all emulate him and his play style. It makes me really question the selection committee and what they're basing their voting on, and whether or not there's any accountability there, because you read these things and you think, why not Roger? When is it his year? How are they putting other people in ahead of him, and what criteria is it based on? And it doesn't seem that there's any accountability for those votes and actions, or no one ever explains how they're doing what they're doing. So it kind of loses credibility after a while. It's almost like whoever's paying the best hush money, or I'm not sure what they're doing over there for the
well, it's easy. They just hate the freaking 49ers. It is. Like, they're so jealous of us. Like, they are so freaking it takes so long for our players to make it in. It's so ridiculous. Like, think about it. Willis is not even, like, he should have been in. And what it is like, I don't look at our players, the ones that are going, I look at the ones that get in over our players, some of them. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me right now. Willis, didn't do enough to get in. There are other players that had shorter careers that are in. I'm sorry, Megatron, and I love him to death. But I'm just saying, Willis had a very stellar career, whenever he was here. And people were like, oh, well, it's about Super Bowls. No, it's not, because Willis got closer to a Super Bowl than Megatron did. Yeah. So in Detroit. So that is not true. That is absolutely not true. Detroit literally just sold out their stadium for the first time since like the 70s or something. I forgot when it was, the 70s or early 80s or something. It's the last time that they had a sold out stadium. So no, but it really just makes me mad because they do. They hate us. And like my mantra goes, they hate us because they ain't us. And that's it. And they are going to have to one day, they're just going to have to put people in. And that's what makes me so nervous for Gore, because he completely deserves to be in. And they're probably going to do him the same way. And I'm so tired of this anti-49er stuff, man. It's really just getting on my nerves. Like, I could not believe that Craig did not get in. I was like, you got to be kidding me right now.
I agree with you on the Roger Craig thing. I'm a little stunned that he's not in there. Yes. The Patrick Willis decision, I do think, speaking of the whole entirety body of their work, his career was a little short. I don't see that with Frank Gore. I don't think Frank Gore is going to have those kind of questions raised where he might get, dealt into, another year. Frank Gore has done everything, except get the ring, but, he's going to get that this year on the staff. So,
right.
Miss Dina, can you hear us?
Dina?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I hate modern technology. What the F? I mean, I hooked up this thing. It worked perfectly when I hooked it up earlier. Now all of a sudden it wants to act like a punk ass. And it kicked me off. It said that my microphone and my camera is a no-no on the browser.
What? Well, we can see you.
Yeah, well, I'm using my cell phone.
Oh, got it.
Instead of my computer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've never been great with technology. It's been always a struggle to try to get where I need to be with that.
I hate it.
Goodness.
Got a new microphone and can't use a damn thing.
Well, we will figure out how to get you set up.
Anyway.
We definitely will. By the time the next show, you'll be flying. You'll be great. We will make sure that you are set up by then. Yes, ma'am.
I'm ready to throw this Jersey tomato at this thing, okay?
So here's something that is not Niner related, but, well, it kind of is Niner related. It was actually really hilarious. So, Jimmy Garoppolo, did you guys hear about how he's doing his practices? Did you guys hear that he threw 4 interceptions yesterday to a linebacker, of course, a corner, and 2 safeties? Now check this out. I guess there's brothers that are on the Raiders, like real life brothers. Like he threw one to each brother.
You get a pick and you get a pick. Everybody gets a pick.
That's insane.
That is so great. That is just so typical. So typical. And it just goes to show we are so thankful as Niner fans and maybe even the organization themselves that Jimmy G is no longer our problem.
Amen.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So my brother is a Raiders fan. He's probably watching, but I'm sorry, Tommy. I love you so much, but man,
we're
really
sorry.
thought that a lot of Raider fan. I mean, if you go on their pages, oh, it's the funniest thing. They're like, why in the hell did we get rid of Carr? Like, what were we doing? Like, what is going on here? Like, what happened?
And could you imagine what's going through Lavontae Adams' head right now? Just to know that
he is just like, why me?
Dink and dunk is back, baby.
That's right.
It's time for the dink and dunk. That's all you're gonna get. Little check down pass here, little check down pass there.
It's
That's a damn shame.
like for real. Yep.
That's a damn shame.
I know he's pretty to look at, but my goodness.
But that's it, because there's that, like, dude, he just
and that's where it ends.
He may have had a pretty rotten day today too. I'm trying to get clarification on that, but you go on their pages and they're mad today, so I wonder if he threw some more today. But between him and Baker Mayfield, Lord have mercy. Because I guess Baker's thrown 7 already. Whatever, and just but so the way that it is not related is since we play them next week and we practice with them next week, it's going to be fantastic because the Raiders defense is not even close to being on the same level as our defense, and I can't wait for our defense to get out there and see how many interceptions that Jimmy throws next week. Hopefully Bosa will be back, hopefully, and that will just be like Jimmy might not even do it. Like he might be like, you know what? I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Jimmy will be like, my foot, ow!
Right. I twisted my ankle.
Toe.
I have turf toe.
Oh, ow.
That is definitely.
I know. What is that? That one time where he had. They couldn't decide if it was a calf or an ankle. I think I called it a crankle or something like that because they couldn't make up their mind like what injury he had. I think my word was a crankle, if I'm not mistaken. It was a crankle injury.
My crankle hurts today. I need a veteran rest day.
I missed
because
my
it was out my calf.
crankle.
It was out my ankle. So I believe my word was crankle, if I'm not mistaken.
Works for us.
Yep. I created a word, crankle, because I was like, you don't even know like what hurts. Okay. So
yeah, it's like Jimmy, how did you do today? Well, because of my crankle, I could not throw accurately.
I'm cranky because of my crankle.
That's right. My cranky crankle.
Oh my gosh. That is, and it would almost be fun just to kind of throw out a number there. How many picks would Jimmy G actually throw this entire season if he even gets to start?
Let's make bold predictions that he's going to lead the league.
Well,
he will. It'll be between him and Baker. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Guaranteed game for sure.
Please. I'm surprised Baker's still around.
Yeah,
I don't know. Baker's gonna make it.
They should have just been. Sometimes you could tell a career from another. Is like maybe Jimmy Garoppolo would have been a better model. Maybe underwear model, a smile model than an actually football player because he does better smiling and making money that way than he does being an athlete.
Definitely.
And also keep in mind he's now in Las Vegas. Someone posted Jimmy G string, and it's like, that's right. He's going to have a lot of distractions.
That's probably why he's out there throwing all these picks because he probably stays out all night, in these brothels and strips clubs and stuff, and
Well, didn't they meet him in Vegas like that with a bunch of showgirls or something?
Yeah.
Him in Vegas, started saying that what was the caption?
Bunny Ranch or something.
Yeah, Jimmy's starting already. It's like,
of course he is. What better else would he do?
Starting what? Damn sure ain't football.
I mean, you can't drop a fox in a hen house and then tell him to behave himself now. Come on.
I mean, whenever I found out he was going to Vegas, I was like, wow. That's the last place that he needed to be. Was for real. And then on top of that, like whenever you guys were talking about Adams and how he probably feels right now, his coach went out and literally brought all the 4,000 expatriates than they possibly could for this dink and dunk thing so that they could, whatever. So I just feel bad for Adams. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys, and you better listen, me and Breezy's fantasy show is about to start up, right? And I would not be in a hurry to draft Adams if I was anybody.
That's for sure.
And if you get him, be prepared to put him on the bench because, woo, his stats are going to fall so bad this year.
He's already on the phone with Aaron Rodgers. You need a wide receiver there.
Dang.
Oh, God, that's terrible. And when people say the Niners could have worse problems, but we're okay with our problems we have now, I agree. We have better problems than a lot of other problems going with
That's right. We do.
We have good problems to have. And
we do.
Shake
We have some amazing problems.
It's like, they might not be able to figure out who's going to be starter, but at least we got two that can at least get us through the rest of the season.
And a real deep bench. So, yeah.
Right. Oh, yes. We are stacked.
I was reading today some stupid piece of paper that popped my way about what happened at training camp on day 9. And this guy, Brandon Allen. Who that?
Number 4.
Okay. Now,
that is QB4.
Yes.
QB4? I thought we just QB3. We got QB4?
We have 4.
Oh,
QB4.
Okay. Now check this out.
Mm-hmm.
What really got my attention was they said this guy threw 6 out of 8 passes. He was the best deep thrower today at 35 yards to Snead. And here's the clincher. They're comparing him to Hoyer.
Oh, gosh. The destroyer.
I'm like, seriously? So they're comparing him to Hoyer, and then the guy says the 49ers would be smart if they just kept him on the bench.
Or just cutting him all together.
Okay.
See,
but
I thought
he threw a deep pass, 35 yards.
See, I thought when Burrow went down, because Allen was with Cincinnati, I thought that Cincinnati would be calling like, "Hey, you don't really need him over there, right? I mean, you're good. You can just, I'll just send him back over here because he knows the system, blah blah blah, and whatever." So I was really shocked that Cincinnati didn't ask for him back, but I guess Burrow's not as bad as was they thought. So he's getting better and better. So I guess he's fine. But I was really shocked because I thought that that'd be the first call that they had was to John be like, "Hey, you got like 12 quarterbacks on your roster. Why don't you send us back Allen?
Can we have one?
Right? Can we have our guy back that knows this the system and everything?"
That is that's incredible. And it's kind of funny because right now it's like you listen to all these different reports about all the different quarterbacks. And for me personally, I'm like, I care and then I don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm going to trust that they're going to put at least the one guy who's going to get us there. And God forbid if anything happens, I know we're going to have a second guy that can continue.
That's right.
Put the right people in. But, when they start talking about Sam Darnold and he's looking better than this person and that person, it's like, the only 2 quarterbacks I really want to hear about and actually see, which is probably like a lot of the rest of the Niner organization and fan base, we want to hear about Trey. We want to hear about Purdy. We don't care about Sam Darnold.
Nope.
He can go throw reps over there with Brandon Allen all day, just not on the practice field, because when our guys need to get tip-top shape, we care about those 2. Everybody else is just kind of like, we don't want you being like deer in the headlights, Josh Johnson, but we don't need you to try to think that you have a chance at number 1 or 2, because those are already slots that have been taken. So
they had talked about Trey and like how he did at camp today, and he did his best was a 25-yard touchdown pass to Snead. 8 to 12 passes or something, or pass attempts. And then Oh, by the way, Brock Purdy is off today.
Yeah.
To make sure he heals properly.
Well, they're rotating his rest days. They made that clear from the beginning that's not something.
Yeah, it was like 2 on, 1 off, or some stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the thing though, it's really crazy because, like, a lot of people are so happy, Trey's out here throwing the ball down the field. Now we know that he can do that. What impressed me was when he made a mistake, how he recovered and got first downs. That's what I want to see, because that is what happens in a game. When you do something, that where you push the team backward and you're able to push the team forward enough to get a first down, that's what intrigues me and keeps me interested, is that because I want to see things like that, because the season's about to start and now it's time for, like all these fundamentals and everything to hit you. Like, we know that Trey throws a beautiful deep ball. Like, we know that he can get that ball down there. He's been, after practice, he's been doing that a lot. He's been practicing that and everything, but his IQ that has gotten better, with these first downs. It was like, I love these conversions like that. That's what excited me, was the fact that, Trey screwed up and then he converted like a third to a first. That's what I want to see.
I saw a statistic where they were talking about from camp last year to camp this year, he's making 22% more first downs in camp than he did versus last year. So clearly his timing is better. The off-season work that he did is paying off, that his timing, his execution, his vision of the field. I think that's, some of the things he struggled with is not seeing all the plays that are around him, because he's, just young and inexperienced. So all the work he did off season, I think, obviously we're seeing it in the on the field now in camp. So I think that's all good stuff. Hey, the better he is, the better for us.
Absolutely.
Execute, the better for us. So
Yeah.
Tough. Yeah.
And it's like what we see right now that's happening. It's all great. It's all great news, every bit of it. But the one true telling would be once these games start and the real pressure is started, how are these guys going to start processing that? Because it's great that you're achieving something, that you're working on everything that you weren't as good at with last year, and you're trying to make that better, even if you weren't as good of it last year, but the goal is to be better this year than you were last year. And you can only simulate so much of an actual pressurized situation. Whereas when actually game day comes, that's where it's going to mean the difference. And I think that's kind of one of those important things about these preseason games. I don't like the injury factor to them, because I know a lot of these guys that are actually getting thrown into these games are usually the guys that are fighting to get an actual roster spot, not so much the veterans, because they already understand they don't have anything to prove. They already know they're going to be there unless they're Ambry Thomas and they need to try to show that they're going to make it or whatnot. But some of these things, it's just when the pressure is on, that's when you're really going to tell. Like Brock Purdy, he's the last guy in the draft. Nobody thought he ever was going to take any team, regardless the 49ers, as far as he did. But, when you're thrown into a situation where you're hitting the ground running, sometimes you really can find out a lot about a person when they are put under certain pressures. And maybe this person, maybe Brock Purdy can't replicate that. That's the hope for a lot of people who want to see, is that, you're not going to be hitting the ground running when you go in, because you're going to already know that you're potentially going to be the starter or soon to start. Are you going to be able to be the same person? Or is the Brock Purdy we've seen, only the reason why we've seen him was because the pressure was on and you're like, oh crap, let's get out of the way. Let's do this. But I really hope for the best for both of those gentlemen, because I don't think the Niners are going to go wrong either way. And with Trey Lance having his contract and he's still good, he's not going anywhere. Even if, regardless, the gentleman doesn't start this year, which I'm not saying I don't want to see him not start. But if he doesn't start, it's not going to hurt him, because he's still guaranteed another opportunity to prove his worth and even get another contract extension. And whereas Purdy, you just get him out of the way and figure out, okay, what are we doing with you? Are you here to stay, or we got to get rid of you? Because now's the time to actually confirm that, because with Trey Lance, we already know he's raw. He's something to work with. And there's a lot of things that he's been able to achieve since we've had him for the 3 years now, or going on 3 years. So he's already proven, he's something to keep around because he's definitely showing his eligibility to be the starter. And as far as Brock Purdy, he just had that glimmer of, I don't want to compare him to Jimmy Garoppolo because I know there's some things that we've seen with Jimmy. He came in, won all those like last 5 games of the season, all of a sudden got paid that fat contract and then got hurt. So I really don't want to see another situation like that because that's just heartbreaking. That's devastating. That's just then that was just the ball rolling for being stuck with Jimmy G. And I believe that if the Niners wouldn't have signed him to such a fat contract so soon, and if they would have made him wait, maybe with the and we would have seen actually what was going to happen, we probably wouldn't be stuck with having Jimmy G for as long as we unfortunately did. And I think we probably wouldn't be so far into the situation of not knowing what quarterback's going to start, because I think that answer would have been proven a long time ago, and Jimmy G wouldn't have been that answer.
Well, I mean, I think it was serendipitous that we were able to keep Jimmy last year. I mean, under what I thought was some pretty shady circumstances, that he didn't disclose his foot was injured until too late and had to have surgery, and then took his entire draft capital away, our trade capital. So, we got stuck with Jimmy. And then as it turned out, we needed that initially. We thought anyway, we had Jimmy who knew the system. He knew how to play. The guys know him well. And so you have we got lucky that he was there and was able to win some games for us. And then when he got hurt, it was like, oh, here we go again. Now we're like down to Mr. Irrelevant type of a situation, which he did come in and take everyone by storm. But they're 2 very different quarterbacks. I wouldn't put Brock and Jimmy in any category together at all. I think Brock Purdy is much smarter behind the center than Jimmy is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Far more accurate, better, field of view. He sees the plays, he understands, and his timing and execution are a lot better than Jimmy's in most cases too. But yeah, I mean, I think, I'm one of those people, the universe will put you where you need to be in those moments. And I think Jimmy was with us when we needed him to be. And then we realized the cupboard is pretty full. We definitely don't need Jimmy. So
and you know what?
Off now.
We definitely don't need, which scares me to say it, we don't need Josh Johnson. Please. No.
Well, I mean, we definitely have an upgrade with Sam Darnold. I do believe Sam Darnold's in a good place.
Oh, he's definitely an upgrade over Josh. 100%. I'm in total agreement with that. That's not hard to do, but he's still an upgrade over him. The only thing that I have to add to that is only thing that makes me nervous about Brock, and everybody's like, oh, she hates Brock. No, actually, I was just telling people last night that there is not, like, he's such a likable person. Like, I literally watched like his interview that he did yesterday, with reporters and stuff, and they're just walking around, and he seriously, like, you can't dislike any of the quarterbacks, like Trey or him, because they're just amazing people and
good people.
But the only thing that makes me nervous is the 49ers have got to get off to a hot start. We cannot keep doing this 2-5 and then, getting lucky and everything. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that. We need to come out the gate swinging. And the only thing that makes me nervous is if Brock Purdy is QB1, this that he had last year, with it when he came in and caught them by surprise. What is it that they said about Cap? When Cap took over, that teams did not have any film on him at that time. So they didn't know what to do with him. They had no idea what to do with him because they didn't know. The teams last year, they had no time to prepare for Brock because they didn't even know that Brock was here. I mean, Brock wasn't even supposed to play last year. It was supposed to be Trey. And so they had spent the whole time with Trey. And then next, of course, will be Jimmy because, they know how the 49ers are. So I'm sure, between Trey and Jimmy, they pretty much, had it down. Not that you have to game plan that much for Jimmy the way that he, is out there. You just stack it and that's it. But what makes me nervous is they're going to be more prepared because I believe a lot of teams believe like that Brock is QB1 because that's what the media is put. I mean, everybody's putting it out there and everything. Everybody's saying that the competition is QB2. So, with Trey and Sam, which Trey's miles ahead of him. So, whatever. I guess the competition. But anyway. And what makes me nervous is, like I said, we have to start fast in. You're playing like a smart team week 1, Pittsburgh. They're going to be ready for him. They've looked at all the film. They've looked at all this. They've done all this, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't have enough of versatility like Trey does to function. So if they figure him out, that's what makes me nervous. Because with Trey, he's got so many tools, in the tool belt that he can go to that a defense won't even know what in the hell's going on. Like, they won't even know what's going on.
Right.
And that's what makes me nervous about that situation. And plus, he's coming back off an injury. And I know I listened to him yesterday and said, don't even think about the hand or whatever. It's easy to not think about the arm when you're against friendly fire. But these teams are going to be swatting.
Yeah,
they're
swatting.
That's my concern, PG, is if he starts to see ghosts and gets nervous about getting hurt again, then I think the teams I believe Pittsburgh will come at him as hard as they can, to pressure test whether or not mentally he can handle it.
Exactly.
Right.
That's my biggest fear is whether mentally he really is okay with the fact that he was injured and he's not going to give it another thought while he's in the game. I don't know. A lot of people see ghosts. Jimmy saw ghosts all the time.
Right.
Being hurt. So there's definitely
we know,
to be said for that.
Yeah, I mean, we know that when he came back from that ACL, he was never the same.
Right.
Jimmy was never the same.
Right.
There's always that timid approach, being timid. Like you said, when you're around fire is a different situation. Now you're going to be around some corn-fed, okra-eating men coming at you that know your Achilles heel, and they're going to come at you, like you said, swatting you like a fly.
Mm-hmm.
And because they know that's your weakness. So, Miss Peachy, I agree with you. I think they had a chance. Teams have had a chance to analyze what Brock can do and his movements. And I believe they're studying that. And, that's where our offensive line and the Shanahan offense has to really come into play. Do something that is unexpected but expected.
Absolutely.
Because people have been watching, and it's going to be a tough year, but I think they're going to do it. I have faith in them. But they know, and just like with Jimmy, that's why he had his tap dancing shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was, like I said, he saw shadows, and he saw, people running at him at 290 pounds and coming right at him. And he started tap dancing.
Yep.
Happy feet.
Oh, yeah. Definitely happy feet.
Okay? He put the penguin to shame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, that should be expected. Now, how he handles it, that's going to be the telltale sign.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, like friendly fire is fine. When you're playing against other teams, how is he going to handle that first hit?
And the strength
especially
of the
after being injured.
Absolutely. And the strength of the offensive line is always important, but it's even more so important because of that fact is now you have to protect your quarterback even more. He's not just somebody who is healthy and just can come out there and just bounce back. He's somebody who does have a weak spot, and it's his throwing arm. So you're definitely on that right side, where whoever is McKivitz or whatnot, they're going to definitely have to make sure that they step up to the plate because that will be our downfall. And, we only have so many quarterbacks to work, and we definitely need to protect each and every one because they're going to come after us. That there's no other way. They already know the Niners are a team to be taken down, and the Niners have got this far for a reason because they don't want to be kicked while they're down. They're, rising to the top, and nobody in the NFL wants to see them there. Nobody can ever say, it's hard for them to say we have a number one defense. And a lot of the articles that we're reading, they want to try to put the Cowboys ahead of us, the Eagles ahead of us. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, no, the Niners have earned their keep and they earned their spot. And if it wasn't for a situation with the quarterback, there would be nothing for anybody to talk about except for how great the Niners are.
Right. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Definitely.
true.
Yeah, it's a very complex situation, but again, I know we're going to rise above it. We have a great coaching staff, and the guys are out there working. I know we're going to rise above it, and I know it's going to, again, that mental state is going to be so important. That and the dreaded right side,
The pressure is.
We can get that right side, then we don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a good state of mind, and that's what it's going to take. Now, my question to you ladies, I'm hearing 2 different dates. When is this first game? Is it the 13th?
The 13th
with the
Happy
Feet.
The game, the first
of August
preseason game, I believe, is the 13th.
Yep. In Vegas.
Preseason. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Any
going to
of
be.
you guys are going to make it?
Not to that one. I'll be watching that one at my Aunt Deanna's house. Got her in the chat. She invited us over for a barbecue, so Brent and I will be taking the kiddos to go watch the Raiders get stomped on by our second and third stringers.
It's gonna be so awesome because this team is so amazing, and they are, going retarded over the, putting Cowboys over us. And man, please, all that does is just anger people. It's about and I know that Tony's gonna get into it. That darn top 100 made me mad. The last one that was on. I was infuriated. I'm like, I told you, they hate the Niners. Hate the Niners. Anything that they can do.
Yeah. It's very
interesting. The disrespect is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
That was ridiculous.
They have CMC at number 35.
Thank you. Seriously.
It's like, how could you?
The only thing that I can say is because he didn't play a full year with the Niners, because had he had played a full year with the Niners, he would have been the top running back.
Absolutely.
Just like he's going to be this year.
Yes.
So, but I still feel like 35 was still too low. So
I thought it was a little low myself. I really think, he came out like lightning out of a bottle when he joined the team.
Exactly.
And he's had some years of struggle with injuries and such, but honestly, I mean, if you're looking at what he did last year and that's what you're basing it on, come on, man. McCaffrey is, he should be higher than that.
I was like, I had to make sure I had my glasses on. 35? That's insane. I know I'm old, but damn, I'm like, wait a minute,
make sure it said 35.
And they should have gave him at least a little bit higher of a number, even despite the fact he was in 2 different teams, because he carried the Panthers on his back while he was there.
But he always carried the Panthers on his back when he was there.
That's why he got hurt so much.
Well,
he was only in the toolbox.
God.
Hence the injury.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh, and what's up with I saw it briefly, but again, I was on vacation. I zoned out of a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with Elijah Mitchell?
He's injured again. And if I'm not mistaken, it's with the same injury as he was injured with this time last year also.
Yes.
Some strain, right? I saw something.
Adductor.
For about a week.
Yep.
Yes, his first injury, he'll be out for a week, and then it'll happen. Something else will happen again. Like we were talking about last week. Remember, we were talking about this last week about Mitchell. Like, I'm just
listen. We're gonna candlestick dirt. No more injuries for him.
right.
It's what we do on our show, so to ward off the bad juju and usher in the good candlestick energy. So.
Nice. That's awesome.
I was more surprised at Trent Williams being number 14.
Oh,
and not the top 10. I mean, if he's the number one dude and has been the gold standard,
he's the number one offensive lineman in the whole entire NFL. He should have been in the top 10. I was furious when I saw that.
I was like, "Yep, who's picking this list?"
Right.
I'm sorry. Time out.
Yes, but
you made it when Jim Everett the Great comes and sees you. Thank you, Jim Everett. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to share us. But as long as you hit the like and subscribe, you're more than welcome to tune in. You made it when Jim Everett the Great comes and visits you.
Speaking of Jim Everett the Great, who is like my bestie, because he's always in the 49er chats, like all of mine and Breezy's chat, like he's always in there. So Jim, hello. Aaron Donald was ranked 11th, and the Rams had a fit. Like their players had a fit, and I'm like, wait a minute now. He wasn't even the best defensive player this year, so why should he be like what should even be there? You know what I'm saying? I was really shaking because when I started looking at it and I was seeing they just threw all of our Niner players in the last one or whatever. Had no choice but to put Bosa in the top 10. Like I would have literally called them and rioted. Like I would have literally been like, "Oh, I'm on my way," because this is not.
I'm with you. Call me.
We've got the pitchforks and the torches ready to roll.
It would have been ugly, like really, really ugly. But
the ladies
anyway,
are coming.
Bosa's.
We'll just throw our purse at you.
I feel like because when Aaron Donald, any defensive player wins Defensive Player of the Year, they're normally in the top 5. If they do not give Bosa the top 5, I'm still going to be so upset because I went back and I researched it, and every time there's the Defensive Player of the Year, it's always top 5.
But I mean,
so he better be top 5.
They've got some explaining to do for Trent personally.
Oh yeah.
Even Kittle. What was Kittle? He was teens, like 14 or something, 13, 14. I mean, Kittle was
19.
19.
So worse than even
that. He was he was in the I think it was in the top 10 last year, I think. I'm not sure, but
22 was number 22 last year.
Oh, okay, so he actually rose. Okay, see, you know what? It was the year before that because we had went to the yeah. That's when Kittle was in the top 10 when we went to the Super. Yeah. So so he's up 3 spots. I can kind of see that. I mean, Kittle didn't have a Kittle type year that we thought. Travis Kelce belongs in the top 10 because he was the best tight end last year. And, so I would like it if he was 10th.
Yeah, right. I mean, at least
because I really, really feel like that Bosa needs to be in this top 5. Like he wasn't just he didn't just win Defensive Player of the Year. He was one of those the most dominant defensive player last year.
Absolutely.
So, and he's expected to be this year. So there's no reason why he should not hit that top 5. Yeah. If I see his name come up between 6 and 10, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Because you still have Micah Parsons, and he should be, 10th, 9th, something like that. Yeah. Because he better not be ahead of Bosa, because if they do something stupid like that, then I'm still going to call up Dina, and I'm going to be like, yeah.
Ladies, take the hoops out.
And Debo's rating. Debo, he was number 19 last. I think it was last year they had him ranked, and then this year he's number 69.
That plummeted, man.
Yeah. Well, he had an off year last year, and he admits that. And when I saw Debo's number, I was like, all right. So they're punishing Debo for his year that he had. Okay.
That's a hell of a punishment.
It really is. It's
a spanking.
But he wasn't the only one, because Cooper Kupp also took a massive dip as well.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, you know what? Okay. All right. You know, Debo knows what he's got to do this year. He knows that he's got to ball out. And he already said that he not, you know, that he had a crappy year last year. Like, he played like crap. So he realizes that. But, you know, they gave Kupp the same treatment. Kupp plummeted. Aaron Rodgers plummeted. Because he was in the top 10, and I think he was like 50 something or something like that, maybe 60 something. So he was really low.
Yeah. And he's going to continue to get.
What did you guys think about like the NFL running backs? Like, Austin Eckler came in at 20th over Nick Chubb. I thought Nick Chubb was the best running back last year.
That's what I don't understand that.
That was crazy. Like, what?
I don't
Who did that?
Well,
who decided that Eckler was ahead of Chubb?
That's what I mean. Like, what criteria is this based on?
Right.
Is this just like a committee by vote of who they like, or are there actual stats that they're using to compile a formula and go, well, based on these 5 things, we're going to come up with this evaluation. There seems to be like no rhyme or reason or no explanation of how these things are done, and they're just pulling them out of their ass or something.
Nobody that's in charge of picking the Hall of Famers.
What's that?
It says probably the same committee who's in charge of picking the Hall of Famers.
Exactly. That's what the Hall of Fame committee switches hats, and now they're the top 100 committee.
Because they say that it's the players, you know, they're doing this, but I think that it's kind of like the Pro Bowl vote. I believe that it's like maybe 20% the players, and then, you know, whatever, because I can't see the players saying that Austin Eckler is the top running back. And, you know, because I mean, you had Derrick Henry in that list. You had Chubb in that list. You had, you know what I'm saying? And then TJ Watt, like, why was he so low? I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, he was awesome last year. That's who I'm afraid of week 1. TJ Watt.
Didn't TJ get hurt last year, though?
I was trying to remember that. Did he? Because that might be.
I feel like he was out for some games last year. Hurt.
Okay.
So
okay. Well, then that makes sense. But I still felt like that Nick Chubb should have been like the number 1 running back. Great. When I saw Eckler, I was like, am I reading this right? Like, wait a minute. Let me go back and look at this. And then I saw it, and I'm like,
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I don't know who does these things, but they damn sure like them subscribe.
There needs to be some splaining. We need some splaining in the world.
But Tony, do you want to read off the Niners that we had that made it?
Oh yes, off the top 100. We had Trent Williams at number 14, Fred Warner at number 15, George Kittle at number 19, Talanoa Hufanga at number 78, Drake Greenlaw at number 79, Deebo Samuel at number 61, and CMC at number 35.
Yeah.
And that's just
we still got one more to go. Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa.
I was going to say, at least
here's something that's interesting that's got my son all tore up to shreds, as you know, that you know, he's an Eagles fan. Hargrave. Apparently he didn't make it at all.
Hopefully he'll make it.
I was going to say he's in the top 10.
So that's
that'll be fun to watch, right? See if he makes it in the top 10.
Yeah, but I don't think he will. I think I pretty much know like the whole top 10, like who it's gonna be, because you have all the receivers, all the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
it's like I think the quarterbacks will be like Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen. It'll be the 3 quarterbacks, And then the receivers, of course, Justin Jefferson. And then you have Stephon Diggs. I guess he's going to be up there, I guess. And Tyreek Hill or something like that. Something like that. And then you have Micah Parsons and Bosa. Kelsey.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think if I'm missing somebody. But yeah. So
I think that was 9. Yeah, I was trying to keep count while you were.
I think that might be it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the last one. No, Jamar Chase has already been up there. I was kind of shocked where he was too, because Chase is like one of my favorite receivers, but he didn't quite get that kind of accolades I thought he would get. Because he was awesome, last season. So I don't know. But anyway, like I said, Dina, just be ready, because if Bosa comes in anything like lower than 5, I'm gonna be hitting you up.
Are we headed to the NFL studios? Where are we headed? Where are we going, girl?
Got to talk some things. Okay. I'm in charge of that.
Guess what? I even have little mini baseball bats that have San Francisco Giants on them, so I can bring those and beat the SF into them. How's that?
I can be
I'm all for that. Midtown in an hour, so
sprinkle some of that candlestick dirt on them. Get them to start
right in their face, like
okay.
Get your eyes checked.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it. And then Warner, that was another one that kind of made me mad too. Like he was literally the top. See, we have so many, it just reminds me of how awesome our team is. We have so many top players on our team, as far as top at their position. And people have the audacity to try to put Dallas ahead of us because Dallas said this is going to be their year.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah. We all know Dak is going to Dak. Dak is going to Dak.
Dak is always going to Dak, just like Dak's doing in practice. Like he's the same stuff that he's going to do during the game.
I was reading something about him.
Dak is going to Dak.
It's so funny. I was reading an article about him, and they were talking about how he said he's not going to try to throw, he's not going to throw any interceptions, and the next day he threw one.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, Dak.
Keep up the good work, buddy.
That's right. Little sticker.
Who's their kicker?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Their kicker?
I mean, yeah, did they get rid of the guy? I don't think so.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
The one who,
I can't think of his name.
Game?
The Yipper, Mr. Yipper.
Yes, Mr. Yips.
Mr. Yips.
Right. So it really just, like I said, it annoyed me because, they're trying to put Dallas. What? Because they added Brandon Cooks? I mean, because that to me is like, oh, and Tony Pollard might be healthy. Okay, so what? I mean, our team has gotten better. That's what the outside doesn't understand. Like, we gotten better. Our defensive coordinator, let me tell you, I love Wilkes. This dude, you can tell when somebody really knows what they're talking about. This dude is awesome. He came in and tweaked this defense and everything and patched up these holes and what we had going on. And that alone. And then we added Hargrave and, moved some people around and did and just having Wilkes, you know what I'm saying? Running this defense is just going to be amazing.
We talked about
I'm so
that
excited.
on our show, PG. We talked about having Steve Wilkes, and I'm like, not very often do you lose your defensive coordinator and actually bring in someone of equal talent or better. And I think we actually elevated our play. Yes. Steve Wilkes, he knows the type of system we run, and he's just a veteran of the game that has his own way of doing things. But my goodness, his defenses are always up there, in the top defenses. Yeah. He's plucked a few people to come from Carolina, and he's definitely, you can tell by what the players are saying and how they're talking about Steve Wilkes that he's teaching them things that they didn't know, and they're better already than they were last year, which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm a better player already because Steve Wilkes is here.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
yes.
Ooh, this is gonna be good.
I know. I can't wait. I'm so excited. He's so experienced.
I love the fact
he has so much experience. I love it.
Yeah, I love the fact too that Steve Wilkes is going to be upstairs. Like,
yeah, I mean, there were people talking about that he's not down on the field and he's not right there engaging with the players. But I think that, you have all the position coaches that are down there. They're going to be just fine with him being in the booth.
I think it's a great thing. I really think that's a great thing. And I know that's really going to step up our whole, it's going to step it up. Everybody's going to, because he can look down and see.
Yes.
All right.
He could scan the whole field.
And relate to the position guys.
Some days.
Exactly.
Go smack
and that's really going to be, that's really going to help us. That's really going to help us. And it's so comforting to hear the accolades from the players. Right. And they say, he took me aside and spoke to me, and he showed different things I didn't know. He's helping me to grow, getting me better in my position. Those are great accolades to hear.
And personal interest that he's taken in all the players too. Like he's a very interview kind of guy, and I think that
yes.
We really did ourselves a favor.
Yeah, what that does for that gives that added motivation. Hey, I want to do this for the team. I want to do this especially to show my coach what I can do.
Builds their confidence.
That I was paying attention.
The thing that probably is the most awesome to me is, and I don't know anybody else feels about this, but I was happy. Kyle is keeping his nosy ass out of the defense because they don't need him. They do not need him, and he can focus on his offense, and he can do this job of working with the offensive side of the ball because the defensive side of the ball is good. And you can just tell, when they talk to Kyle or whatever, even John is even stepping in with Wilkes. You know what I'm saying? They're actually working together, everything. And I love it. Kyle, do what you specialize in. Yeah. Keep your ass over there with the offense and make sure that the offense is running right and that you and these coaches on the offensive side have got this down pat. Wilkes and his guys, they got this over here. This is his defense. You can tell that Kyle is allowing him to actually run his defense. And I'm so happy about that.
And Chris Kuterik is back again. We have our guy. He's our, I mean, the defense is going to be firing on all cylinders, humming along.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I felt like with D'Amico, because he was kind of young, as far as his experience goes, that Kyle had to, delve in more than, he probably wanted to, but, he had to. But now that he's got Wilkes and Kuterik and these guys, he knows getting well that it's in good hands, and he does not even worry about it. He's so much more offense focused. And I love it. I love it so much.
Hopefully the eye bags will go down a little bit this season.
Yes.
I won't look like a raccoon on Monday,
Because he does all season long. He's a sleepless eye.
That is 100% correct. Because if he had been up there, then he would have saw that show. You're absolutely right about that.
Oh, yes.
Yep. I love it. Yep. Because then he can see everything. And like you said, then he can radio down to his guys and he's got down there and tell them, whatever. I think it's fantastic. When I first heard about that, I was like, yes, I'm loving this because Kyle knows that he can trust him up there. He knows that he's going to be great. Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that people just are not ready for this season defense. They're not. We are coming.
Yep, you're absolutely right. I
Yep.
mean, we have put that D line together. It is stacked.
Yes.
It's humming. It is going to have some high motors rolling, and I
Mhm.
can't wait to watch Bosa have all the time in the world to go just tear it up. Yeah.
And speaking of the
excited.
defense, in training camp,
Yeah, run buck wild.
they have Tayshaun Gibson. He's out there catching his interceptions because
Yes.
Jair Brown took his job from him. So that's going to be nice to see, because it was really exciting to watch Gibson catch all those interceptions last year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some more being picked off this year, because he did that miraculously. It was like, right place, right time, it just fell right into his hands. It's so great to see somebody do that for our defense, just be there. And even Fred Warner had a pick, so that was even fun.
And for somebody like Tayshaun Gibson, we're so deep. He's going to be able to stay fresh enough and rotate in and really just bring his best game, because we do have such a deep roster that, he's signed for another year for a reason. He knows what's up. And the Niners appreciate him and the way he's mentored Hufanga and, helping teach him a lot of the nuances in the game. I think it's just going to be just so fun to watch them go out there and really, really tear it up.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. The one thing that was really awesome when I was watching Wilkes last night in the presser, he's so like transparent, like he doesn't hide anything. You can tell he feels so. I just want to let you guys know that I think we're seeing the last days of Ambry Thomas. I think he's going to be gone. Because Wilkes did not hold back whenever they asked him about that. You saw that, Tony. He was just like, "Oh well, we're getting people to work with them and stuff, and it's just." But you could tell by the look on his face. So then, whenever he was talking about Jameson, he's all lit up like oh yeah, I'm excited, I'm impressed, the whatever. So he doesn't have anything back. Like you can tell, Ambry's like, I might as well go ahead and just start packing my bags.
Yeah.
Clean out my locker.
Yeah. Like, okay, where's my backpack?
Hello, it sounds hollow in here. There's echo in this room.
Because he doesn't, if he's excited about you, you're going to know.
Yeah.
That's one thing about him. Like he pulls no punches, and his face just like was so serious whenever they was asking about Ambry. Like, we're trying to figure out some things, and I mean, he's out there working. He's out there working. I was like, bye, Ambry. I'm sorry.
That's code for, he's in summer school. He's taking the class over here.
Whenever, that whenever you ask a coach a question and he tells you there's like thousands of people that are trying to work with this kid, I'm like, it's sorry, Ambry. We're sorry.
I think people are going to be surprised at the cut downs on the 53.
Absolutely.
We talked about this week
that's
there'll be plenty of people waiting in the wings to scarf up our
our
extras. Yeah, because we can't keep everyone, and we've got a deep roster.
I know.
Yeah,
and we'll be seeing that.
And then like the fact that it happens on one day. Like you literally is all of them just there's no gradual. You just see the list and bam.
It's going to be like a shark feast in blood-infested waters.
Seattle is already got that. You know what I'm saying? Seattle's sitting here with their phone, just waiting for these names to pop across there.
I think everyone's going to be that way. All around the league, you're going to see that.
They're plotting.
I mean, if it's all going to come down to one game now, that's going to be
we already know that they're plotting.
It's close.
And got
cut days close.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think
I would say that. Yeah, I would literally say that Ambry's
on the
making that list. Because you can just tell that he's just, you know what I'm saying? Just You ain't got to go home, but
Yeah.
You can't stay here.
Yeah, you can't stay here.
Oh, that's gonna be
Pick up your water bottle on the way out, son.
Turn your badge in at the gate. Go see Angel.
no, son.
Nice knowing you, honey.
Here's your hat. What's your hurry?
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's our clothes here.
It's what is that that video that they have of that Jets player that was trying to get back in the the keys or whatever. The key wouldn't work. The door wouldn't open. I would never forget that. That was the funniest thing ever.
Oh, I was
Damn,
crying.
that's neat.
He's like,
oh, that's so good. Yeah,
I saw that. I noticed the key.
Hey,
I know, right? Max, you were like,
you talking to me?
I don't know you.
Now, we have a question from the chat. And you ladies, if you are comfortable enough or have an answer, but from Troy Knoll, they're asking, who would you ladies want as our starting QB? Do you have a starting QB preference?
Well, I mean, the team has made it clear it's Brock's job to lose. So if John and Kyle are saying that, then that's my starting quarterback until it's not. So, I mean, the team seems to know what they know, and they're calling him QB1, and it's his job. So that's QB1 in my book. And then QB2 and 3 are getting sorted out, but I think we kind of know who that is. But yeah.
And how much longer is their training camp? Do we know how much longer training camp is going to be going on?
Not much longer. It's close.
Oh.
It's a couple more days, I think, because we're going to do the joint practice with next week with Raiders, right? And then we have preseason.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before I answer my question about the quarterback, Troy is currently in the hospital. And so we want to send our prayers and love to him. Yeah. He has to have these different things done, these procedures done, and he's back in there for I think 16 days or something like that. So he's on day 8. So he's rocking it. And Troy, so just know that we're all thinking about you and we're all praying for you.
Yeah.
As always.
Absolutely.
That's
prayers.
My brother for real. Like, I love him to death, and he's so sweet. So I just want him to do that. But I'm so glad that he's watching us from the hospital. It makes us feel really good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. So what he said is who would you ladies want as our starting quarterback? So I actually want Trey to start. If I had my choice and someone was like, hey, Peachy, who should we start week 1? If they were to ask me that, then I would tell them that they need to go with Trey. Because like I explained earlier, I feel like that he brings the versatility and he brings the different things and he has all these different elements to him and everything. And I feel like that defenses are just not going to know what to do with him, especially how much he's grown and how much he's matured and how much he has gotten so much better with Christensen and Pat Mahomes, and everything. I don't know. It just makes me so excited. It would make me giddy if he was quarterback 1. So that's who I would want to start. But I agree with Bex. I do believe that QB1 is sealed because of what Brock did last year, spilling over the same way that they did with Jimmy when he came in and he won all those games and, did whatever. He was just automatically, set in there until, he's not. So that's what I want to say.
What do you think, Dina?
Dina.
We'll give her a second to refresh.
And camping on the 7th, by the way. Dwight Clark Day.
Oh, excellent. Long live Dwight Clark. He is amazing and started the legacy for the 49ers and the dynasty.
Yes.
And we wouldn't be here talking about the 5 Super Bowl wins without him because he started us with number 1. And may he live on forever through each heart of the red and gold and through all the patients that have to go through ALS and their families that are fully supported for their families that have to go through that, and to the future players or family members of those players who unfortunately may end up having to deal with this devastating disease. Because it doesn't just affect everyday people, it affects our hometown heroes as well. And we just always hope for the best that with every donation to the ALS, and that they can help find a cure or at least make it easier for people to get through ALS.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And he was a super nice guy too. Just
Very
a
true.
sweetheart to meet. He was just one of the nicest 49ers I've ever met.
Yeah.
And before Dina comes back in, I'll just answer really quick. I would like to see Lance start for the fact that, okay, when he started last year, it was super exciting. And even before he was given his start, my husband and I had went to a game when he had went in and filled in. And it was fun to say, you know, go Trey area. And it's just from then on, and then it just made it even better to see that he was just coming in to play and just being that young man that was definitely fighting for his opportunity and being given that opportunity. And then just hearing the different, you know, progressions that he's been making throughout this offseason, I do believe he should get another starting position because let's see what the guy did. Let's see what he accomplished. If the 49ers were so into giving the young man the start last year with less opportunity and less progressions, and this year he has more, I think that would be an exact reason as to why we should start Trey. And even more so, Brock Purdy, you really don't want to rush him back. So why not start Trey? If he's the guy that's ready, that's a win and win for everybody because not only are you giving Trey, who is ready, but you're letting Brock Purdy heal up. So regardless of if Trey makes it or not, you still have 2 quarterbacks you're going to dynamically be able to work with, and you're not going to be rushing back one who's going to be not ready or, you know, even though they say he's ready, you know, when you give a guy a break, he's not necessarily 100% ready. And I can understand you're not trying to rush him, but even by expecting him to be there or him pushing himself to try to make sure he maintains his roster spot number 1, that's still rushing. And if Trey's ready and he's been showing these different progressions that he's been making, I do believe he should be a starter. Because if you give him the last, you know, if you make him starter last year with less, and this year he's more, I would definitely say throw the guy in there. Let's see what he can do.
Absolutely.
The worst thing that can happen is you have to bench him, but I don't see that happening.
No, this team is too good. I just don't. We're able to support either quarterback. That's for sure. Dina?
Can I interject before this thing cuts off?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
All right. Listen, for me, I would like to see Trey, but I agree.
Oh, no.
I
was at the draft for Trey Lance. I was at that draft in Cleveland.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to Trey at all, but you know, we always talk about next man up, and that's always the mentality that everybody talks about with football, right? Like you lose your shot, you get hurt, it's somebody else's turn, and when they come in and they play lights out, you know, you have to give that guy his props and let him take the reins. So I'm of the mindset that you have to keep the consistency and start Brock for those.
Hey, Dina.
Okay,
go ahead, Dina.
Can I try this one more time, please?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm for Trey, but I agree with whoever the office is going to put in.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So whoever it is, I'm all for it. But I'd like to see Trey in. But whoever it is, I'm all for it because I'm all about the Niners.
That's right. And we, like I said, like we just have the team that can support either quarterback because we're so freaking stacked everywhere. Like, we're so stacked that, like I was talking about last week, we're gonna lose some people, and we're just gonna be like on our knees, like crying, like, why we can't have 60
Right.
people? Because we have so many amazing people on this depth that, man, it's gonna be crazy. Troy had put up a comment. Tony, can you put that up? I want to make sure that everybody sees that one that he had put up.
Oh, yes.
So he was talking about how that he was born with cystic fibrosis, a fatal lung disease, not ashamed to share. I knew that, but a lot of people didn't know that. Most of us don't live past 20s. I'm now 50. God provides. Yes, he does. Absolutely. And
amazing.
You are very, very tough and very, very strong and a great person.
Amen.
Troy.
Living proof.
Troy,
yes.
And I want to take a second too.
You're in my prayer.
Also share that Matt, our Matty B from our podcast, his son got his kidney. So if you, so he's
that's awesome.
Go Jameson.
Jameson got his kidney, and there is a page and a GoFundMe for Jameson. If anyone can go support, just go find.
Awesome.
The East Coast Red and Gold, but yeah, they I believe they have to stay near the hospital for a period of time in case of emergency for a little bit, but they're well on their way to recovery, and hopefully this young man gets to have a full life. So
absolutely,
that's a great thing.
With that, good things happen, and hopefully
that's wonderful.
And God bless those that have to go through certain challenges when it comes to not having the best health. There's a lot of things that everyday people would have to cry and complain about, but to sit there and go through a devastating health situation that you have no control over,
right?
For putting one foot in front of the other and waking up and just trying your best and making it through, and just do your best, because you are the unsung heroes to everybody. And even when you think you're alone, there are other people who are definitely rooting for you, and even if
that's
we're complete strangers, 100% rooting for you, because Troy, to say that you can only go to 20 but you're 50 years old, that's a testament right there in itself, and that is awesome.
That proves it right there. That proves it right there, bro. You're a hero in our eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I know at the beginning of the show, we had touched on Roger Craig, and it is very devastating to know that he, once again, had fallen short of making the Hall of Fame list. And there are certain people that are in charge of that, and Twin Empire was saying it earlier today when he was talking to Bryant, it's all about politics. And these guys, for some reason, have some sort of issue with Roger Craig making it into this Hall of Fame. But apparently there are ways that us fans can try and at least get his name noticed. Especially if you're like Javon Kinlaw, put some respect on his name. I think Roger Craig deserves some respect on his name, and I'm not rich enough to fly the plane with the banner that says, to put him in the Hall of Fame or fire Jed York or the people who are in charge of all these different things. But apparently you can write to the Pro Football. It's Pro Football Hall of Fame. At 2121 George Hollis Drive, Northeast in Canton, Ohio, where you can actually submit any nominee that you want. Every nomination of an eligible candidate that is received will be processed and forwarded to the Hall of Fame Selection Committee. So I think if there's enough of us 49 fans faithful to kind of rise above this situation with Roger Craig, hopefully one day before his lifetime is over, we can see him in his gold jacket and that big, beautiful smile of his.
Yes.
He's another Niner that is just the nicest guy ever to meet. So respectful and just super nice. What a great guy. I've met Roger now 3 times, and what a sweet, sweet man. And for him not to be in there just based on his football acumen alone, his accolades and career, is ridiculous. It's unfair. I don't know what they're doing over there, but I'm losing all respect for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Craig's not in there. No one should be.
Right. Absolutely.
And do you ladies have any closing thoughts or anything you'd like to add on? Anything that you've noticed within the training camp, or anything you just want to speak on?
I just wanted to say that another person that I see that Wilkes is very high on and very impressed with is Kinlaw. He's brought his name up, and he's talking about how he's just so excited about him and everything that he's doing. He was talking about yesterday, I guess, like he ran, like he took off running, and it just made him feel good because he was like, he's like, I can't believe that this big old dude is like running that fast, whatever. So that was really cool. I'm really rooting for Kinlaw. Yeah. I think that he's going to be on the starting 53. And even Kyle has been saying great things about him. Like, it's just, Kinlaw has been impressive. I'm hoping that, all the things he had wrong with him are behind him, because when he's out there, I tell you what, he's so good against the run. And I feel like that we've missed that. So I hope that Kinlaw, is able to stay healthy. I'm praying for all of our players. There's so many players around the league that are getting hurt. Like, I'm really sending prayers to our team that we can keep these guys afloat, keep them healthy. Everything like that is really good. I'm trying to think of somebody else that he was talking about that stood out. That was,
and just for a second, while we're on Kinlaw, apparently this week in training camp, he had laid out Spencer Burford on 11 on 11s, put Spencer Burford right on his back, apparently. So that's kind of interesting, because Spencer Burford, he looks, when we were watching East Coast Red and Gold, he looks like a big dude. And with Kinlaw actually looking leaner, he's already a big dude, but apparently being leaner than he initially was. Yeah. It's interesting to know that he's laying out these big guys on their back. All right.
I'm so excited. Just like I said, like how we are against the run, with these running backs we're going to be playing this year, like, it's really going to be vital for us to have Kinlaw. Like, I would love to have him out there doing that, because our defense is just different whenever, teams trying to run on us. Like, it's just really different. So I hope that he's able to stay healthy. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I'm trying to remember from the tape, but I'm just impressed with everyone. I feel like that, the best players are going to be, left standing, what I'm saying, like the 53 or whatever are going to be there. The ones on the practice squad, we're going to have like a hell of a practice squad. Like, cause there's a lot of awesome players that we have. And I'm just like, oh, we can do that. Like, the wide receivers, Danny Gray, now he's finally, like doing what you want him to do, but he's still like a deep threat receiver, and so
he's stepping up.
I don't know if he's gonna fit. Like, if we go with Brock, I don't know if it's gonna be beneficial to Danny Gray. It's kind of like the Jimmy Garoppolo Davante Adams situation. Like, I don't know if Gray's gonna make it just because of who the quarterback is probably going to be, because I know Kyle, he's not going to waste his, he's not going to waste his spot like that. If he feels like that Danny cannot, what I'm saying, be like fit this offense, this particular offense, then he may be one of the casualties, and it might bring like somebody like Ronnie Bell, somebody like that, in or whatever. Conley has been looking really good. I like Conley though. I remember Conley from Kansas City. Like, he's really good. So I just am nervous about this when it happens, but we have a ways to go. Next, we have Raiders as our first preseason game, and our practices next week, joint practices next week or whatever. And I know that Wilkes is like, he's just ready to, to hit, someone who's not our player, try to attack someone that's not our player. So it'll be nice for our players to, get some good action and kind of see, like exactly where they stand in that kind of stuff. So we had a great crowd in here. So I know I appreciate it. And I know Tony does. And I also appreciate it so much. A lot of people came through here.
Absolutely.
So, like,
and there's
I love it. I sit and read the comments the whole time, and I'm always like, "Ooh, yeah." Cheering out comments and people.
Yes, familiar faces and new faces. Just a quick shout out, Troy Knoll, appreciate you stopping by, and Danielle Thompson, thank you for stopping by. Crazy Juice, Jeff, Bryant. We also have Deanna Byring. That's my auntie. I'll be going to her house next weekend for that Raider Niner matchup. And then the week after that to the Broncos Niners preseason game. Going to be going to the Red Zone rally. So that's going to be super nice. And then we have Mr. Bryant, of course. And then I know earlier we had Nothing But Niners. And I know I seen Twin Empire, David Corona.
And our Austin was popping in earlier.
Yes. Oh, right here. Podcast. Bebop. Thank you. Oh, and then of course we had our 2 Rams. Yes. It when you have 2 Rams guys coming to your chat, and
you can brag.
Even though we have our brooms ready to sweep the Rams division, you are more than welcome to stop by as long as you remember to hit the like and subscribe.
That's right. And tell others about our page.
Absolutely. And then I also have the ladies' information in the description. So if you're interested in knowing where to find your girl Bex, Crystal Peachy B, and Niner Lady Dina, you're more than welcome to check out the description, and that'll lead you on the little way to find out where you can get more information and more content that these great ladies have to provide. It'll also open doors to other content creators with a lot of other fun 49er content as well. You can always catch us live Saturdays, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're only missing 2 ladies. We have Gina Reppin Da Bay that stops by, and also Niners Jess. So today they unfortunately couldn't make it, but they like to grace us with their wonderful presence. John, I see you in here. John, I'm not going to say your last name because I can't pronounce it, but I'll spell it Lajoie. Lahore. I'm not going to butcher that, but thank you so much for stopping by. Everybody is 100% appreciated. Continue to share this information around because sharing is caring. And ladies, if you'd like to share your final thoughts and where they can find you and any upcoming information on where these wonderful people can find you at.
I'm on the podcast.
Oops, say that again.
Anybody that has a podcast, I'm usually on it.
Oh.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dina is a wonderful Niner supporter all the way from the depths of Eagles territory, and she has no fear. And you can find her in Niner Sickness. You can find her on Bryant Colt. You can find her in Corey Davis. She is within a lot of these 49ers content creators, and just very awesome to have somebody like Dina on your side when it comes to supporting the 49ers. And then Wayne Breezy also. You can find her in Wayne Breezy's chat, just like Miss Crystal Peachy here, doing big things. Wayne Breezy, always supporting him and giving us the great content and managing that so us 49ers fans can keep up with all that great content. And then
Breezy's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Coast, red and gold. Oh.
Yes.
But I'll stop speaking for you ladies. So if you ladies want to finish that.
No. We have so Breezy and I have a fantasy show coming. It's going to be called What's Your Fantasy? And it's fantasy football. And we're going to be getting it underway like really soon. So it's going to be really good. It's going to be different. It's not going to be like your normal fantasy show. It's going to be hot. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be awesome. We're going to blow you away. Yeah. It's going to be that kind of football fantasy show. It's going to be great. So it's definitely going to be awesome. So that's what we have coming next. Other than that, Wayne Breezy's just got all these different shows. Him and Mike Andrews, now from Nothing But Niners, they have their own show that piloted yesterday. Called No Harm, No Foul.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And so that's pretty cool. It's basically just them being their crazy selves and just discussing picking a topic and kind of just discussing it. And it's just like no holds barred. You're going to get the realness, from them, of course. So it's a really awesome show. And that premiered yesterday. So that's really cool. But other than that, just getting ready for the season. We're just going busy. And the ladies are going to keep bringing you these shows. And they're going to be great. So tell a friend and tell a friend, get the word out. So we can get everybody in here to watch these because they're really insightful.
We have our own perspective.
Right. It's not just a bunch of, like girls up here, thinking they're all that, trying to be all cute and stuff. I mean, we actually know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have years but between all of us, all of the years that they've been faithful. Just me by myself, but like
I was gonna say, you and I got this thing corner
exactly
on this side of the
yeah. So for for a long time, so I can tell you, So
I'm all of 29
excited
years old,
about that.
So
That's great.
all my years of experience.
Tell them where they can find you, Bex.
I am on the East Coast Red and Gold podcast on Wednesdays. Our shows are at 8:00 on Wednesday nights. So come over, join us. We always try to line up some good guests to have on and get perspectives from, sports writers, former players, and just a variety of people to add their perspective of football and all things football. We love our show and have a great group of people and always look to have a good time and keep it family friendly. That's one of our goals too, is to have it be a family friendly kind of show. But I am excited. I think our team this year is just ripe and ready. And, we talked about it on our show last week about how this was kind of like the 94 team. We got so close years right leading up to that. And, this team is sitting there. It's one of those do or die, now or never kind of moments. And I think we're going to see some lights out football this year. And the team's going to make some great decisions. They've made great off-season acquisitions and put money where their mouth is and bringing in Javon Hargrave and picking up Steve Wilkes and pulling in, these quality players, even if they end up just being camp bodies. It's going to elevate the competition and we're going to see the best of the best. And we'll be surprised at some of the 53 cuts. I agree, PJ. I think people are going to be like, why are we cutting this guy?
Yeah. Right.
These other guys are better than that. So teams are going to benefit from us. And I think, we've got some exciting football to watch. And we're going to shake the candlestick dirt one more time.
That's right.
To bring Juju and good luck and the health and all the good things for our team to happen. And I'm looking forward to games and getting out to tailgate parties and seeing people and having a good time again. So
I will be at the Dallas game. So
will you?
Speaking of Dallas,
to get to the Dallas game, I'll be at Pittsburgh.
Speaking of Dallas, I did forget about two important things. Wayne Breezy and Company has released a song. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Twitter or not, called "Faithful to the Bay." It's amazing, and we are actually going to be doing the video the weekend that we were in Dallas. So everyone's invited, of course. And we're just going to do like this huge, we're just going to go all out. And he's doing this huge video and everything. It's featuring Travis King and Lake City Fresh is actually on it. Yes. And it's an awesome, it's an awesome song. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, then you can get it everywhere. Like Apple and it's even on YouTube Music and is iTunes, like it's everywhere. You can get it, and it's just called FTT Bay, Faithful to the Bay, and you'll recognize it because it's in black and gold. It's really pretty, and it's really sparkly. So we have that hooked up for you guys. And then the next thing that I was gonna say is thank you, Dallas and Atlanta, for just continuing to just be amazing people, because Taco Charlton is gonna make this squad. That's another one that I forgot about, that Wilkes is over the moon excited about. He said he came off the plane and was out there making plays like this. Like he's real,
he was so excited about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now Leroy Watson and Bill Manning. So that's great.
That's why I'm telling you it's gonna be crazy, because somebody who has been on this team is not gonna be on this team, because because there's some people that they are in love with, man, that are, you know, newbies that are just, you know, whatever, and fits Wilkes, you know, like what Wilkes wants to do. And I think that's what it is, you know. So, but there's gonna be I'm just like, I know I'm just gonna be on my knees like, why? Because we're gonna watch them go blow up on somebody else's team.
David McNiner's right. We find him on Taco Tuesday. It's true.
Exactly. That's
They're
true.
Like, it's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, the Becks, you know, just like I told Jess, you know, you guys haven't had everybody on there because you haven't had me on there yet. Nobody's asked me to be
she's in charge of that, so
I know.
I just show up. She puts the list of who's coming on, and
yeah.
And Peachy would be definitely a great guest on any show, because you are definitely a lot of fun. And Dina too, and Bex, of course, but you're already on the latest and the greatest show with East Coast Red and Gold. But you would be great on anybody's show as well, because I'm very lucky to have a panel with you ladies on it, because without you, I would not have as fun of a show. You ladies bring all the positive vibes, all this great content, and just collaboratively, it just makes it a great response with everybody. And you get the chats popping because of your personalities, and you just make every Saturday like something to look forward to. And every day is something to look forward to, but it's just like Saturday nights with the ladies. It's like I'm having a virtual lunch date with the girls, and I love it.
That's right, ladies.
Next week we need,
and we love you too, Tony. You do a great job, and thank you for the idea of putting this together, because it's fantastic. And you know, like a lot of people don't like to hear what women have to say, so then that's when you have to just, you know, get your own one, so then you can say, you know what I'm saying. So I'm happy to be able to be supportive and whatever. And I love all the girls, and that's what's important, is that we all get along and we're all fantastic, because we all love our 49ers. So it, you know, so that just makes it easy to.
And I have to shout that out for Bryant, because without Bryant, he's the one that said, you know, you need to do a group with all girls, and he helped reach out to some girls he thought I'd be really great with, and it turned out to be one of the best things he's ever, you know, there's a lot of things he's always kind of helped me along the way to get into, but this is definitely one of the greatest things, because I wouldn't be as bold as he is, and for him to kind of like push me along to make sure this happens, I'm truly thankful, because I am no regrets. I'm having 100% a blast every time we do an episode, and each episode just seems to get better and better. And now with the football season getting really close to starting, I can only imagine how much more fun we're going to be having with this channel.
Well, I just enthralled that I was chosen for this. You know,
same.
Because, you know, I don't know that much in life, but, you know, all I got in football. And that's about it, really. But, you know, I'm not as seasoned as Miss Peachy and everything. I just speak my damn mind.
That's all right.
But yeah, I'm grateful. I'm shocked. I finally get to say something about my trainer without typing.
Right. Yep.
And people are listening. We see them every time when they come into our chats, and we appreciate you, chat, just always stopping by, because the more you come in and let us know how much you appreciate us, the more comfortable we are with sharing what we have on our minds, because at the end of the day, when all you have is each other, it's always nice to know that you have a great 49er fan base to rely on and have fun with. And it just makes every year so much nicer, and every day just something to look forward to. And thank you again, Pat, for everything. Pterodome, Cinnamon just came in. Randy,
Hey, Sin.
thank you so much. And again, thank you ladies for joining in. I'm going to have to step down now. I hear my little baby in the background. You know, when you leave the husband with the kids, he's like, "Oh, I got this," and then you hear the babies crying.
I'm being called over here.
Thank you again, and thank you, chat. And until next time, tune in for Saturdays with Ladies of the Empire. And I'm wishing you all a great rest of your Saturday night and a great happy weekend. Stay safe and stay faithful. And until next time, we will see you soon.